Hey everybody, Marcus Tuttle here with Dwell New Orleans. I'm joined today by my co-hosts Bart Gillis and Sharronda Jamerson-Smith, who is a wisdom coach in the area. She's from St. Louis, and she's got a lot to say about getting your financial intelligence together as well as becoming free from addiction. So a lot of great nuggets in this interview. Please enjoy. Hey everybody, welcome to Dwell New Orleans. Bart Gillis and I are going to welcome one of our first guests, Sharronda Jamerson-Smith, who I reached out to on Instagram.
Hello.
She's got a good game out there, and we're excited to have her join us. She's a financial and wisdom coach via St. Louis, Missouri, and she's been in town for, I'm just going to go from memory, 5 or 7 years, something in that range in the New Orleans area. And follow her on Instagram for Shar's Eclectic Wisdom. I think you can find her there. But welcome to Dwell New Orleans, Shar.
Good morning.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
I like New Orleans.
I love it.
What's your favorite thing compared to where you're from?
First of all, the weather. The weather is definitely great. I don't miss the -2, -4 degree temperatures.
It gets that cold where you're. Did you say St. Louis?
Yes, St. Louis, Missouri.
It's that cold there? Wow, I had no idea.
Yes, sir.
Well, yes, I'm sure everybody needs wisdom in their life. Can you talk about your industry and what your path has been like to be an authority on the life and wisdom scale? I really like the positivity of your messages on Instagram. I think that you promoting financial literacy to your followers, I think is great. You can take this conversation wherever you want to go, but those are the reasons why I reached out to you there, because I think we could all use more positivity.
Absolutely. Yes. So basically, as you know, I'm so grateful for this and humbled by this opportunity. My message is basically to help people change their lives. I started off as a missionary back in 2003. And basically, I worked with at-risk youth. And you all know that whole dispensation with working with at-risk youth. A lot of them come from abused homes, blah, 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 blah. And basically from there, it started a seed. And from there, I was able to work with the parents of those children. And from there, it just blossomed into what you all know today as Shar's Eclectic Wisdom. I have helped several people get off of alcohol and drugs. I was a former alcoholic and drug abuser myself. And I took everything that I learned from my journey and I helped others. And I also helped the kids to get a better life. A lot of the kids could not read. I taught them how to read. A lot of the kids were dropouts. I helped them to graduate through school. As a matter of fact, the last group of kids that I worked with, the one child is actually going to a well-known school in St. Louis. So I'm very excited about that because, as you all know, children are our future. And a lot of people don't understand that if you don't have a good foundation for them, they're going to turn out to be, horrible adults. So I'm just glad that I was able to use my experience to help those children. And from there, it catapulted into me helping young adults and adults. And that is on the wisdom side. So basically, I help people with trauma survival, anything from losing your parents, anything from job loss, all of these things that are very traumatic. I have a lot of experience in. And then also that same year in 2003, I became a licensed massage therapist. And that helped me to streamline my health because I helped people with their bodies as well. My first experience with helping people in trauma was cancer patients. I know you all are familiar with the Siteman Cancer Center, right?
I think you're giving us too much credit. You're saying we know more than we do, I think.
Well, the Siteman Cancer Center is one of the most well-known cancer centers in the entire world in the United States, and it was, it's connected to Barnes Jewish Hospital. Well, I would massage the type 2 and what is that? The terminally ill cancer patients. And I did that for several years. And some of the cancer patients actually live from getting therapy from me, but as you know, most don't. But that whole aspect has helped me to help people. See, I realized a long time ago that the only way you become more positive is if you make a positive difference. A lot of people have a lot of traumatic experiences and they're trying to figure out how to have a better life. You're not going to have a better life until you learn how to help others. And that's what I've done. I have helped others tirelessly, and I love what I do because
you get something out of that.
Right, exactly.
It pays you back probably fivefold.
Exactly. And then on top of that, when you have the mission to serve, you know that at the end of the day, if somebody's life is changed, you've done your job. So
what drove you to how old were you when you felt the need? I mean, obviously it's coming from inside of you. It's not just something you said, oh, I'm just gonna, calculate and do this.
Well, basically, to keep it short and simple, I had a very, very hard childhood. And I wanted to change my life by helping to change other people's lives. And I started this, yes, I was very young. I was 21. So from there, it just catapulted into all of these other things because I realized that if I'm going to be healed on the inside, I have to help heal others. And I know for myself, the last Instagram or Facebook Live I did, I talked about having compassion. We live in a world today where people are not compassionate enough and they're very cold-hearted. And I've learned in my industry and just in years of experience, you get a lot more accomplished when you're compassionate with people and you show the love from your heart, not from just, your lips or whatever.
It's like a magnet.
Right, exactly. And then also too, even with Mr. Marcus, I talked to him, for the past few days. I just love the fact that my message was able to reach him. Because I don't know who I'm talking to. A lot of people don't.
Did we lose you?
A little hiccup.
No problem.
We were doing so good. All right, we're just gonna hang on, see what happens.
She's delightful.
See if it's my fault.
But that's with that piece. So with the finances, so back in 2016, I had I want to say aha moment. You know what I'm talking about?
I do, absolutely.
And basically with that, I decided that massage, even though it is a good field, it was starting to get very taxing on my body. So I went and I got state certified in finances. I went and I got my license in life insurance and finances. Very hard exam, by the way, and not very easy. And I'm telling you, it was like a class of 20 people. And by the end of the training, it was less than 10. So
Mm.
I passed the exam on the first try. So much I can say for the massage therapy exam. It took me 3 times to pass that exam, but I'm grateful. So since that time, I've helped people with their lives financially. I helped a young lady. She was actually going to be on the verge of losing it all. And I helped her to set up a budget plan. A lot of people don't understand that it's not what you make, is what you keep. Um, a lot of people say, "Oh, I want all this money," but it's not about the money. It's about what you're doing it. If you're eating Starbucks every day, you're not gonna have any money. And I'm not saying that I don't eat Starbucks. I love Starbucks, but I'm sorry, I'm not spending $20 a day. I cook at home.
Good advice.
Right. And then also too, I promote the 60-40 rule. So basically 60% of your income goes to bills and whatever else you have to do. But that 40% is what you put aside for savings and investments. And a lot of people, when I tell them that, they're like, I only got to live on 60% of my income. Yes, because let's just be honest, we're not getting younger. And unless you want to be working until you're 85, the opportune time to start saving is when you're in your 20s. And from there, you can, retire when you get 50, 60 years old. But a lot of people, they don't want to have the discipline to save.
That's the first
So,
time I've heard the 60-40 rule. It seems so. You
Aggressive.
gotta. Yeah, it seems aggressive. You gotta cut your living expenses down to be able to make it on the 60%, whatever that is, in order to have that 40%.
exactly. And I'm going to tell you this. The first year when I was in finances, I had to follow my own advice. I cut out a lot of stuff.
What were
And
some
so
of the
now,
biggest changes you made that you could share with people that could help
um,
everybody
well, first
besides
things
Starbucks?
first, um, the eating out. Second thing is the buying of the just useless stuff. Like, you know how when people go to the store and they'll go and have a grocery list, right? Instead of them just buying what's on the grocery list, they will buy like 20 extra things and then spend like an extra $100. No, you have to stick to that list. Those are the things that are practical. The other thing is insurance. A lot of people think that they're going to live forever, and they're not. Unfortunately, I've had a lot of people within this last 2 years' time that I've sat down and talked about getting life insurance, and they don't get it. And then one of their loved ones dies, and then they're calling me trying to ask me what to do. I'm like, I don't know what you should do. Because at that point, it's kind of counterproductive. And I want to bring this out. You know that website that a lot of people use, GoFundMe. Um, GoFundMe takes out 25%.
Wow, that's a
So
huge percentage. Who knew?
yes, so if you go on there asking for money, let's just say, you say I want $10,000. Well, you do the math. 10%, that's 1,000. Then if you're talking about 25%, you know what I'm saying? It's $2,500. A lot of people don't understand that. Going on those sites are not productive, and predatory lending. That's
Reverse mortgages.
Paycheck loans.
I hope it's not my fault. I don't think it is at this point.
We're not doing anything different.
people can do. Shopping at discount stores. I know for myself, I shopped at discount stores way before I got my license in finances, but I see the benefits of it. I'm not saying you can't shop at Whole Foods and Trader Joe's, but you want to clip the coupons. I know people are like, I don't want to clip no coupons, but you have to do it. And yeah.
So economize in every way is
Exactly.
So
Um,
financial intelligence is not sexy. It's just down in the trenches. Let's cut some costs and let's save some money.
yeah,
Some life
yeah.
insurance, cut your costs to equal 40% to save. And
and get the life insurance before someone dies, or the horse is out of the stable and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I even think about myself. My husband and I, we have close to a $500,000 policy, but we're paying pennies for it. It's like what, like 80, $90. I don't look at it. It comes out of my account every month. So it's not like it costs a lot of money. You spend $90 on an outfit, okay? So it's not like, you can't afford it. But a lot of people have been affected by that having non-life insurance. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give some quick statistics. 80% of Americans do not have life insurance.
Wow.
And that is a staggering fact, unfortunately.
so when a person dies, their earning potential is gone. Plus, there's the hardship of their bills that they had to maintain debt, and that causes a lot of people, is what you're saying, to go into free fall and have financial reversal, which has a list of bad effects.
Just being a survivor, you need a little break from the day to day, and all of a sudden the day to day is doubled. Your expenses are more because you don't have that income and you're grieving.
Exactly. I mean, here's the thing, and I tell people this. I'm like, you're grown. You can do whatever you want to do. Like, I'm not here to be the person, as they say, raining on your parade. But I realize that being proactive is better than being reactive. It is. I don't know. That's just me.
Well, do you want to give your tips about what insurance people need, in your opinion, aside from life insurance, health insurance and life insurance?
Well, the best insurance, and I represent the company, is Primerica. We do term, and basically, term has no, hidden fees and all of that. You pay the premium every month, and then upon, death of your loved one or yourself, they get everything versus, whole life. You have to worry about, okay, is the cash value up? Did my relative pay on the loan? Because a lot of people take loans from whole life policy, and they don't tell you within the small print that they take a portion of your money if you don't pay it back. So
Yeah,
let's
I've
just
always
say,
heard that the term is better than whole life.
yes. So let's just say, unfortunately, your family member dies and they have whole life, and it was $100,000 insurance policy, and they borrowed against it. Let's just say they borrowed 60 grand and they never paid it back. Well, guess what? That life insurance company is going to do. They're going to take out that money plus interest plus fees, so you could be talking about getting back what, like $2,000. But they don't tell you that because a lot of people don't read the fine print. I had a young lady, actually my really good friend, she had a whole life policy, and it was for, I'd say, about 50 grand. And in the fine print it said that after so many years, her policy was going to be relinquished, and she didn't see it. And it was like, when I say tiny print, I'm talking about like you got to put up a little microscope to see it. And she was wondering why I was sitting there reading the fine print. And she was like, Sharronda, you've been sitting here for 20 minutes. I'm like, no, I want you to see what you signed on the contract. And she was looking at me, and I showed her, and I circled it, and she just went through the roof, because she paid all this money. And then guess what? When she transferred her policy over to what we had to offer, all of that money she paid, all of the interest and fees was gone. She lost all her money.
Is there a need for that clause or that type of policy that we should watch out for?
She had cash value attached to it. They didn't give her all her cash value back, because she had like over, like, I want to say like $10,000 cash value. She only got back $3,000. Yeah, it was really bad. It was really bad.
So there's a difference between, well, I think I cut you short. So life insurance, health insurance, anything else?
And then I also offer car insurance through Progressive. We're partnered with them, and basically, they're supposedly one of the best car insurance outside of the regular ones that we have today. And that's basically it. I'm licensed here, Missouri, and North Carolina. So I'm licensed in 3 states.
Is there an issue of like offering financial advice and selling stuff? Is that kind of, do you have to walk that line and say, listen, even though I sell this stuff, I believe in it? I mean,
yeah, you do. I mean, I don't tell anybody to buy life insurance and I don't buy it. I don't tell anybody to buy health insurance and I don't buy it. I have everything. Mm-hmm. The only thing that I don't have, unfortunately, is Progressive, and that is because my husband is a veteran and he has a USAA.
Sure. Awesome.
Yeah, and that is the insurance that we have for our car. And everybody talks about USAA. They're like, I wish I had USAA. I'm like, okay.
Well, yes. I have 2 questions that are kind of on my mind. One is kind of departing from this financial literacy, but the other one absolutely not. But my question as far as surviving addiction, it seems like we all have known of somebody that has been addicted to something one way or the other. But the mindset between being addicted and the mindset to not being addicted, I wonder if you seem like a really good person to talk to about that. And then the second part of what I'm thinking about is we just talked to a millennial and how they're making their choices about housing and cars but those 2 subjects, I don't know if you can expound on either one that you choose or would like to expand on.
Okay, well I'll talk about the house and the car. Okay, so basically, millennials, I guess I'm considered one. I don't think that I am, but whatever. Millennials make the mistake of having a house and a car too soon. First of all, when you get into that type of debt, a lender is looking at your credit history. Your credit is very, very important. And a lot of millennials don't understand that just how I just said, it's not what you make, it's what you keep. That's what that potential lender is looking at. Whether or not you have enough money versus your expenses. A lot of millennials do overspend. And so what I tell them is, if you are talking about getting a car, your best bet would be to get a car from a used dealership or go to Enterprise.
Like a
Do
78 Honda or something like that.
Right. Do not go and buy you a brand new car. And here's the reasons why. Number one, cars lose appreciation.
Before you even drive off the showroom floor.
Right.
You guys would
Right.
be fun.
Right. They lose appreciation. Third thing is a car is a liability. It's not an asset. It's not making you any money. And the fourth thing is, God forbid something happens to you where you can't make those car payments. Uh, a used car, yeah, if you can't make the car payments, they'll be more likely to work with you than a brand new car.
Is that right? I had no idea there was a difference.
People with brand new cars, the way they have it set up, if you miss a payment pretty much after the first month and a half, they're talking about repossessing you. I had a good friend of mine go through that. She bought a brand new car, and I told her you needed to get something within your budget, and she just had to have a 2018 whatever, and I was like, okay. So I would say go to Enterprise, get a car for like 4 to 7 grand, you know, get it. Then you make small car payments. As far as the house goes, a house, you have to have a down payment. So the question is that millennial going to be willing to pick up a second job or something to do on the side to have at least 5 to 10% to put down on that house? Because you're going to need that for your closing costs and all of that. You're going to have 5 to 10%. And a lot of people, they say, oh, I want a house, but you need money for a house. And if you're a spendaholic, it's going to be an issue.
And then once you buy a house, even if you're making the payments, there are repairs, there are, taxes. I mean,
Exactly. And I tell millennials this: get a small house. Do not get no 5, 6, 7 bedroom house. Get something that is within your means. If that means you have to invest a little money for a fixer upper. One of the things that millennials fall into the trap is they bite off more than what they can chew. And I've seen it happen over and over again. A thing that I would suggest to do, and this is just a suggestion, I would go to the auction place. They have this list downtown at the courthouse where you see houses that are up for auction due to non-payment on taxes and all of that. Get a house from there. I know that might sound like ugh, but it works. It really works. You can get a nice house, pay the taxes, get all of that, and then you don't have to worry about these high expensive bills each month. Because to be honest, that's what me and my husband are planning on doing when we get our first house is we're going down to the courthouse and we're getting that list because I don't want to be in debt. Because I realize that debt makes you a slave. It really makes you a slave.
you're right
And you're
about that.
right. Exactly. Exactly. And it's stress and everything else.
So it looks like with all these things to protect your financial well-being, it is to massage, to survive an addiction. It's also all to de-stress your life. It seems like a common theme is just to give you give yourself the opportunity to be happy by creating the least amount of stress in your life as you can. And that seems to be the wisdom of your eclectic wisdom.
Yes. So you brought up something about addiction. Um, I'm just going to say this. Addiction starts from hiding from a pain that you refuse to resolve being sober. Briefly with me, I went through a lot of abuses as a child. And when I became older, I popped the pills and drunk and did all that stuff and got high because I was hiding from the abuse and neglect that I experienced as a child. If you talk to anybody that does drugs and alcohol, they will tell you it was a traumatic experience that happened to them as to why they do what they do. Um, and I don't know how else to explain it. It's only until you realize that I'm going to deal with this problem sober. I'm not going to use the drugs and alcohol as a crutch that your healing starts. Now, is it easy? No, no. As a matter of fact, I got off of drugs and alcohol, as they say, dry turkey. I didn't go to what is it, AAA or NA or whatever.
I get them all wrong. I think it's cold turkey and AA.
Oh.
I like dry turkey though.
Yeah, so
that sounds worse. It makes it sound like it really is dry turkey instead of cold turkey.
Yeah, so that's basically what I did. And did I have?
I hear a lot of people relapse. Did you have to hit rock bottom and did you have to relapse?
Fortunately for me, I didn't.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I didn't. To be honest, did I have withdrawals? Yes. It was really bad. It was really, really bad. But will I say that it was, unbearable? No. I did. I literally fought to get off of the alcohol and the pill addiction. Because I realized with me, if I'm going to be a successful person, I had to let the narcotics alone. And I realized as I got older, I found this out from my aunt. Alcoholism and drug abuse is a systemic thing in our family. My grandfathers did it. They did it. It goes down the bloodline. So it was an issue.
Sure. You see a lot of that in families. It definitely does run in the family. Certainly mine too.
Well, I love your message. I think the world needs more people like you putting out their message and not being ashamed to do so. But you've created a niche for yourself and a career.
And you're helping people, most importantly.
Yes. But I do want to say something on a more happier note. I want to say this in regards to millennials or anybody that drives for a living. I partnered with a new rideshare company called Trip Rides, and they are launching their first, I want to say, program or however, and I am the representative for this state.
Awesome.
And I'm so excited because they're going to give all of the drivers that sign up stock options. If you remember, Uber and Lyft did not offer people stock options. Mm-hmm. Well, they are offering stock options. So if you sign up with them as a founding member, you have the opportunity to get stock with them. And once it, booms,
you could be sitting pretty.
Yes. And if anyone wants to sign up with me, just go to my link. It's sharstripprides.com. So yeah, SHA.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to be driving anybody anytime soon with the way I drive, but I'm just lucky to get myself where I'm going most days. But it's an interesting concept.
So they're probably competitive with the pricing of Uber and such?
Yes. So basically, Uber takes out 40% of what you make. Trip Rides, you keep all of your commissions, you keep everything. The only thing that they want is a monthly fee of like $190 a month. But if you figure if you're doing it every day or full time, you can make, $200 like that. That won't be nothing. But
Stock options and a better net if you're active.
exactly. And then you build up your clientele base. A lot of people, when they do Uber and Lyft, they can't request the same driver. With Trip, you can.
Oh,
It
interesting.
sounds like a disruptor disrupting the disruptors.
Second generation disruptor.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So, yes, if anyone's interested with that, like I said, Char's Trip
Z-Trip?
Ride.
Z-Trip
Yes.
or Trip Ride?
Yeah, it's SharrStryps rides.com. So, yeah, I'm excited about it. Like, when I had the opportunity to be a rep, I said, I'll be a rep.
Let me ask you, is it Z-Trip or Trip Ride?
Trip, Shars, SHARRS, Trip, TRYPRIDES.com.
TRYP?
Yeah, RIDES.com. So, yeah, I'm excited about that. And the reason why I brought that up is about the millennials and making side income. So if you start doing it, not only can you make side income, but then you can get stocks too.
Sure.
It's a win-win situation.
That really sounds super familiar. And
Sounds like
one of the
go ahead.
things,
Sorry.
endeavors that we have going.
Yeah.
It's fascinating to see millennials moving away from driving themselves and relying more on being in an urban environment and sharing. Oops, so sorry about that. Sharing things like housing and cars. The world is kind of changing.
You know what? I'm so glad you brought that up. Technology is awesome. Do you hear me? I'm still elated about this whole Zoom thing because I know she's like, wow, but I am, because I'm seeing how you can contact people, connect with them through the internet.
And here you are, we're in two different places, and this conversation is going to go out into the stratosphere, and who knows who's going to see it.
Exactly. And it's exciting. Did you ever watch that video with Mr. Yang? And he talked about
candidate.
Yes.
Candidate? Yeah. Andrew Yang.
Yes. Yes.
Different message, right?
Yes, but the part that the nugget that I want to bring up is how he talked about how AI and technology is going to take over. I don't know if you all ever get a chance to go to any of the Walmarts, but if you notice, there are more kiosks and less people.
I've watched Terminator.
Yes, right.
I know what you're talking about, the kiosk where you check yourself out.
Exactly. But the thing that Walmart is doing is they are going to, and they've already started installing robots to clean the floors, stock, and clean the bathrooms. So a lot of people are going to have to deal with the fact that there are going to be less jobs. But here's to say, the good news is if you learn how to fix the robot, you can get a new job.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm seeing this as a positive. Like, people are like, oh my gosh, they're replacing humans. No, they're not replacing humans. Humans just going to have to get with the times and do things differently.
Technology will create new opportunities.
Exactly.
Kind of like they thought, oh, if we change from gas lanterns to electric lights, the lantern lighters won't have a job. 2018, 19, with people just so that they could have a job climbing a pole dangerously to light the lanterns.
Right, exactly.
So, electricity and lighting created just an industry of jobs.
Exactly.
I think that's a good parallel for sure.
Right. And then Marcus, you remember our conversation the other day, and we were talking about Instagram, and I was just giving him some tips
Yeah, those are valuable tips.
about
Very excited about Instagram. I can't wait to figure out how all that works because I don't.
yes. So basically, that is one of the other things that I do. I help people to get a presence known on Instagram, and I send him a link to one of my Facebook lives. I did a teaching about it. And basically, yeah, target market. And I'm telling you, it was so powerful. People still watching that video, and I did that video over a month ago. But the key is, if you want to market yourself and get potential customers, you got to go to where they're at, and you got to know what age group is where. So Marcus, when he watched it, he sent me back. He said, "This is some great info." So yeah, I'm excited.
So
I'm really
are the
excited.
youngest people on Instagram? Is that where the hip millennials and the next generation are?
Yeah, so pretty much with Instagram, you're going to get the 18 to 40 something year olds mainly on Instagram. Um
That's who
and
the advertisers want.
Right, exactly. But the thing that I want to say, and I don't know if I told Marcus this, but I'm going to say it here. If you want the professional type, LinkedIn is the best website. I have actually connected with some great professionals on LinkedIn.
Wow. Good information.
Do I need to put a referral code if I want to ride on trip rides?
Yeah, so when you go to that link and you click on the
Right.
website, it'll have all of my information
Okay.
with the referral code and everything. And basically it's going to be launching here in 3 weeks. So it was 3 weeks from Monday. We met with the owners and stuff. We had a conference meeting on social media. And he said, he was talking to us from Miami. He said 3 weeks from today, which was, what date was Monday? The I can't even remember what date it was, but whatever date that was from Monday, 3 weeks from that day,
Monday was
will
the 18th.
yeah. So pretty much April the 18th will be the day that Trip Rides will be here in New Orleans,
I
and
was
they said,
thinking to ride on it, and I'm looking at that website. I don't see how to ride on it to get the app, but maybe you'll look at your app. I was gonna try to sign up on the side and put your referral code in, but no big deal.
I'll send you. I'll
There's a
you
referral code that it asked for to ride on it. I was just gonna see how it compared to Uber next time I need something like that.
Back to the
Okay.
mystery of Instagram. Um, how many followers do you have to feel successful or to be impactful? If someone's just starting out, what are you aiming for if you're trying to use it as a marketing tool? How many?
Um.
Or
ba- Basically, what I told Marcus is, when you're using Instagram, hashtags are your friend. I told him, since he was telling me, his venture or his business is real estate. That is his niche. You need to put everything on your messages when you post real estate, and then those individual hashtags you follow.
do you
When
look them up or do you make them up?
you look them up. So basically, when you go to Instagram, they'll have like a tag on there that says tags. Type in real estate, or more specific, NOLA real estate. A bunch of pictures will show up. Click on that picture and then see who liked it. when you see who liked it, click on the individuals and then follow them. Once they see that you have followed them, 9 times out of 10, they'll follow you. Unless their page is private, and then that's a whole nother instance. But yeah, that's how you build your following, is following hashtags and then following the people that like your niche.
How many followers do you have on yours?
3,200.
Over
3,100.
since August, right?
What did you say, Mark?
August, 3,200 since August.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I started out with 300. Now I have 3,200. Now keep in mind, because I told Marcus this, I do have a disclaimer. I do have a marketing team. So it's not just a one-man show, because as you all know, you probably was thinking, how does she have time to do this, do that? Yeah, I have people working behind the scenes, because I do have a lot going on. So I do have a marketing team.
What is it like considered like a huge amount of followers on
million.
Instagram? Can they have that many? Is there an end to how many followers you can have?
No,
A limit?
I don't think so. You can have 1 million. She's stuck.
Do you think it's still recording?
It is still recording.
Oh. But do you think it's recording her?
Nope.
Okay. We lost ya. How can you do two things at one time? How can you do two things? There you are. We lost you for a sec.
I know what happened.
Bart asked how many followers you can have on Instagram, and I said 1 million.
Unlimited or?
Yeah, pretty much. I think Instagram caps you off at like, I want to say 5 million, but it might be more. I just know for me, if I get 10K, talking about 10,000, I'm doing good. Now if I get more, great, but a lot of people who are like very well known, the celebrities, they have millions. So you can really do something with 10,000.
Wow.
You can do something with 3. Like I said, I have people that reach out to me on a consistent basis. And I'm probably going to have to hire somebody else to check my messages, because it gets very tiring at times answering every direct message.
It's like a second job, I would imagine.
It's
like having another job, I would imagine.
Right. Yes. Exactly. So.
Okay, well, we're coming up on an hour. Do you want to talk about anything else before we start kind of heading for the exit?
I really don't have too much. The only thing I wanted to say is stay positive. That would be my message, is stay positive, stay progressive, and stay encouraged. That is my signature speech that I say, because I realize it's not what happens to you, it's how you react to it.
You're right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for being on our podcast, and I think your followers and our followers are going to find value in it. So do you want to talk about how to reach you? Is it Instagram? Is that the best way?
Yes. So if you would like to reach me, my page is Shar's Eclectic Wisdom on Instagram. I do have a Facebook fan page with the same name, Shar's Eclectic Wisdom. If you want to go to my website, I do coaching. I actually do group coaching, and I do one-on-one coaching. If you go to my website, you can have all the information there, and it's awesome. It's just awesome. That particular website is sharseclecticwisdom.com, and I'm there, and I will email you and we will get in touch. As a matter of fact, in the next few months, on June the 13th, I will be doing my first annual Eclectic Prosperity Tour in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, neat.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm excited about it. Me and my team, we're looking for a venue now, and I'm telling you, like, I just see everything coming together,
Oh, neat.
and it's very exciting.
Cool. That is
That's
exciting.
amazing.
All right, Shar. Thanks again.
It was so nice to meet you digitally. It'll be fun to run into you since you're in New Orleans. So I'll
Yes.
keeping my eyes peeled, and maybe we can meet in person sometime.
Oh no, she's stuck.
So, not that far. I'm excited.
Cool.
Me too.
Okay, well, have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk soon.
I
Okay.
got some good advice today. Thank you, Sharronda.
You're welcome. Bye.
All right, great job, Sharronda Jamerson-Smith. Thank you so much for being on the program. Join us on our next program. Just like our Facebook page and be notified of our next event. And we got a Facebook Live Thursdays at 7 a.m. This one wasn't, but earlier, prior to that one, we did a live event, kind of more real estate type stuff. This is more culture and our community. So thanks. If it's worthwhile, please like us on Facebook or Instagram, or follow us on Instagram. It really helps if it's worthwhile. So thanks so much for joining us, and see you next time.